How's it going, everyone? Black Metal Rebellion here. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan. So, an interesting thing just kind of happened on Facebook. If you even follow me on there, I kind of made a statement that I obviously did not really think about too well before I actually spouted it off. But went a little something like, "How the hell, how the hell are like 16 or kids under 16 getting into stuff like black metal?" Like, you're talking about, I'm grim and dark and so depressed. I would totally go burn my local church. It's kind of like, what? But then, I kind of like just, I didn't understand for whatever reason. It just didn't click in with me. And then people were like, dude, you're being an idiot. Da 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 da. And I'm like, but why? Like, what do kids know about evil? And I'm just like kind of thinking and thinking and thinking. Like, and then the comments are flowing in, and the hate and the bile is being spewed and flowing in. And I'm like, okay, never mind. It just clicked into me like grade 7 or like age 12 was actually about the time that I started realizing that, shit wasn't all just sunshine and lollipops. And, stuff wasn't super duper like positive and there wasn't as much like hope, and I wasn't so energetic. Well, I mean, I was energetic, but like yeah, anyways, my point is just I, for whatever reason, temporarily just forgot how shitty being, 12 and, like a preteen and, like young teen was. And I'm just like, oh yeah, never mind. I can see why they could get into black metal now. I can now see how they could relate to the darkness and the depressing and the evil parts of black metal now. I'm like, yeah. But it just kind of struck me as just like I'm gonna be 32 in September, so I think, fuck. Like I said, I don't know how old I am because I'm so damn old. I was born in 1985, so you do the math because I'm too tired right now to do the math. I haven't had my 17th cup of coffee yet. So anyways, yeah, it kind of sucks, man. The kids can't just be kids anymore. Like, they have to grow up so fucking quickly. And as a dad, like, I've got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it kind of like it hit me after all these comments are rolling in, and after my really not so well thought out statement was just kind of thrown out there. That I'm like, yeah, wow, my kids are probably gonna get to that age, and I'm just like, well, what the hell are you so depressed and sad about? And then I'm like, oh yeah, never mind. You're 12. Shit sucks at 12. Uh, it's it's funny how 18 years later you're kind of like slowly forgetting how, just stuff at that age is a lot more. It's actually a lot more intense at that age, and like all your like these negative feelings and stuff are brand new. So they're that much more, like, they're that much worse to you as you're experiencing them. So for people that are actually getting into black metal at like, 11, 12, 16 and under, like, I can now wrap my head around that, because grade 7 and grade 8, aka senior public school, for me was ass. It was absolute ass. Like, that's when the bullies, I guess, start becoming like a little bit more hands-on and violent and a little bit more harsh. Like, some of the things they say to you is a little bit more like, they cuts a little deeper than "you're a poo poo head, you're a dum dum brain, you're stupid." Like, it gets a little bit more than just grade 3 insults. But yeah, and then just it's hard because you're going through all these emotions. You're trying to figure out like how to deal with being attracted to whoever you're attracted to. If it's the opposite sex, then you have to deal with how you're dealing with feeling about the opposite sex. If you're dealing with being attracted to the same sex, then it's like, how do I deal with that and still being mostly surrounded by heteronormativity? And it's just like, fuck. So yeah, it's I don't know. I definitely retract my "how do kids relate to evil and depression" statement. Like, that, now in hindsight, that was really dumb. So yeah, cheers to all the people who called me out on that bullshit and just maybe just kind of, flick the "you remember when you were 12" button on. I'm like, yeah, I do now. Damn repressed memories. But Yeah, no, I mean, if you're into black metal at 11 or 12 or whatever, then I totally understand that. Um, if I have like really young audience members in who watch the Black Metal Rebellion, let me know what age you got into black metal, if it was like before 16, and why it sunk in with you, how it resonated with you, how you related to like the dark, grim, depressing feeling of it, and just why what led you to liking that music as opposed to, for whatever reason, I just dumbly assumed the kids should only be like into like maybe some hard rock or maybe some old classic metal at the time. Because when I was that young, like younger, I was only into stuff like Black Sabbath and Ozzy, and I just think I was just getting into Metallica in grade 7 and whatnot, and like it life wasn't quite that dark and hopeless and negative yet. So I just kind of like, I mean, my musical tastes were still fairly just kind of, young, and just I hadn't gotten into like super duper heavy or like evil shit yet. Like, I mean, Black Sabbath is evil, but it's like cheesy, kind of cartoonish type of evil. It was just like it was like safe evil. Oh, they slightly hinted at Satan once or twice in their songs, but that was it. It wasn't like super duper grim stuff. Like in Master of Reality, they have a song called After Forever, and it's talking about God and the release and stuff like that. So it was still pretty positive for the most part, which is funny considering as a kid, I never really looked at Black Sabbath as being like positive or uplifting because of all the like, I don't know, what I thought was like dark, grim imagery, like especially the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath album. So, anyways, just to wrap this up, I totally see how kids under 16 can feel that way and how they could get into black metal now, because like I said, like grade 12 and or grade 12 age 12 and 13 for me was no picnic, that's for sure. I was actually like semi goth by the time grade 8 came around because I was just so not depressed, I don't think, but just super bummed out, and like just my the hope and energy and whatever of being like a youthful kid was slowly then starting to become sapped out of me. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, let me know how you kind of got into black metal and how you related to it at such a young age, and what age did you actually start getting into black metal. So I would like to hear about that. Cheers. Thanks for watching, and stay sick.